it is for movies to go from area to area like they used to do in the old times. And, this is why the Galaxy always is playing one weird ass film. Like, you're like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Like, the Galaxy is, this is this digital theater all of us go to. The Galaxy here in town is responsible for the lowest, the lowest grossing film of all time.
Which was
Zizix.
What was that?
It was literally, you're going to love this. You got to look it up. It's a film that wasn't really supposed to get a release. They were putting it out on DVD and somebody for some reason decided they wanted to put it on a screen somewhere, and they put it on the screen here in Austin, Texas at a theater, the Galaxy. And they put it in the Galaxy, and they didn't contact the press. We never got notified. They never gave us a press screening. They didn't do any advertising. They just figured they'd get walk-in traffic. They made $30. Opening weekend.
What was this movie about? Zizix. How you spell that shit, first of all?
It's like ZZYZZX, something like that.
ZZY. What was it about? An alien
I don't
or something?
even remember. I'm not one of the $30, dude. A six of
I'm
that
watching
is
this
not
shit
mine.
tonight. Zizix.
I mean, it was. I'm pretty sure that was the name, but it made $30 here at the Galaxy because they brought it there and they didn't bother to pimp it at all. And they literally got like 5 people who walked up and bought tickets. They're like,
nobody can say that shit. I'll get one for Zizix, bless you. No, I'll get Zizix, bless you. Oh, fuck it, I'll go see Lake.
I remember seeing the poster there, and when I read the Variety story about it, it blew my mind. I'm like, shit, I could have actually paid $6, and then it would have been $36, and I would have been able to go, I'm 1/6 of the total gross of that movie.
I contributed to history in the making.
It was one of those times where I kicked myself, where I'm like, shit, that would have been so cool.
But you know something, you're right, man. They're always showing something weird. I remember they showed something like the comeback tour to Depeche Mode, and it's like, who the fuck is gonna go see that?
Depeche Mode.
Depeche Mode. Who would I'm a big fan. Actually, I do like Depeche.
Depeche Mode. It's pretty fucking good, dude.
I ain't gonna say shit. Okay.
Enjoy the silence.
What was my favorite Depeche? It's Depeche, right? Depeche Mode.
Depeche.
I'm taking a ride with my best friend. You remember that?
No.
Yeah, Never Let Me Down. You know, remember that song? Never let me down. Never let me down. I'm not singing it that terribly that you can't remember.
I not that big a Depeche Mode fan.
Okay.
I guess the only thing wrong with that was that you couldn't pronounce Depeche.
Shit, fuck it. Who cares, man? I guess I'm not that big of a
great actor, Joe Depeche.
Joe DiMaggio.
Joe Depeche Mode.
That
means I want him on the side.
Let's see. Before I move on here, I just want to say in a similar thing, I know we want to move on real quick, but I can't help but mention this. When I was leaving the airport, when I arrived in New York, I saw the latest Ebony magazine, and Tyler Perry was on there.
Still make that?
Yeah, man. Ebony magazine is a strong magazine. Yeah, money maker, man. And Tyler Perry was on the cover, and look, regardless of what I say about Tyler Perry's movies, that's a man to study. That is a guy to look at. Anybody who wants to be a filmmaker, I'm not saying you can do what he did. I mean, that guy is a one in a million story.
You can do what he did. You find the market that's being neglected. You make the film that they want to see for as cheap as possible, and you turn a profit every time, and they'll hand you the keys to Hollywood.
Well, it's all easier said than done, right? I mean, we can agree on that. But what I'm saying is that this is a man who went out, and what I always tell people, because we always have people say, "Hey, I want to do this, I want to do that. I want to be a filmmaker. I want to direct movies. I want to write scripts and whatnot." And look, Tyler Perry is a guy that did it, and this is a guy who's still not working in Hollywood. He's working from Atlanta. He goes to Hollywood when he has to, but he doesn't even.
But if you don't have to work in Hollywood, you don't.
No, you don't. He even says, look, working in Hollywood, you have people there who are trying to justify their jobs and their hands get in the way. He's like, I make these movies cheap. And that's what we're talking about with this church. I make these movies cheap. I make them fast, and I make a profit, and I can keep making the same thing regardless of whether you like it or not. And I don't even have to really go there that much. I can work in Atlanta and do this. And it's an amazing thing. I won't go into the details, but I know even if you're white, and you want to be a filmmaker, look at this. I know.
Even if you're white.
It's like for white people who.
Because you know.
You know, man, come on. White people don't want to pick up Ebony Magazine. That's like, you can see, some white kid trying to pick up Ebony Magazine. He might as well be trying to smuggle that out like porn. I can't be seen with this.
It's like, yeah, pick it up with a copy of it. No, it's the. What are you gonna? I mean, you're afraid of that look, like, oh, I know what kind of white person you are.
Oh, you read this smut, huh? It's Ebony.
No, not smut. It has nothing to do. It's you're the kids are afraid of being known as a wannabe. What we grew up knowing as a wigger.
Well, it could be that, or it could be like you're just gonna get looks like, why are you buying this? Hey, look, I know what it's like because I worked at a company where we had to actually work on a game that involved girls, like teenage girls. So I had to like go and buy teenage magazines, like teeny bopper magazines, especially ones with girls on there.
Oh,
so we could get the girl fashion.
To do that.
Man, we did, man. We had to bring it in because we had meetings where we had to go through this stuff. And I was like buying 2 or 3 Tiger Beat, Teen Bop, whatever. And like the guy at the counter is looking at me like, especially for the woman, like, right, sure, you know.
See, and you weren't on the sly enough to say it's for my niece.
Well, it's going to seem suspicious no matter what.
Yeah.
And so I just say.
But see, that's a little different because that's actually at the point where it's like, all right, you know.
You like the little boys and girls,
hey, look,
do you?
14-year-old Justin Timberlake. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm walking out, you know, little girls and little boys wearing overalls and shit. Yeah, you like that, do you? Huh? All right. And all of a sudden I got the camera on you when you're walking out and shit.
Not exactly like that with Tyler Perry on the cover.
No.
That's not a pretty man.
Tyler Perry's a good-looking guy, man. Tyler Perry's hey, look at the magazine cover. I wish I had it right. I don't have it in front of me.
They could make me look good-looking on the cover of Ebony.
Tyler Perry's a stylish guy.
It's all airbrushing.
Look, probably so. I went out there because on the cover he does have a glow. That like, man,
a lot of brown, but.
Yeah, no, you black people are greasy on the lights. I mean, you ain't fooling nobody. But you look like a bucket of fries trying to shoot under some cameras. But just get the article and read it, and it should be an inspiration to anybody who wants to make movies. And it's short and it's not that hard to read. Ebony Magazine costs like about $4, so grab it and read it. Anyway, real quick, I know everybody's talking about Marvel and whether or not these movies are going to get made or not. There's an article where they're talking about the profit that they made from Paramount with the release of Iron Man on DVD. They're talking about how it's going back into the company and it's going to help finance 5 films later on down the line. Those 5 films being Iron Man 2, Thor, The First Avenger. Iron Man 2, Thor, The First Avenger, Captain America, and The Avengers. Now, they're saying right here that this is what they're planning on making, because there's been some pullback saying, well, maybe they're not going to make those now. We don't know what's going to happen. So now they're back on there documenting this as saying, hey, we're going to make these movies. And Marvel's an independent company now.
The head of the movie division was kind of had his head up his ass for a little while, and then people smacked him around and got him back in line.
Was he thinking about not doing it for a while?
I don't think they were thinking about not doing it. I think it was probably internal politics. But at one point, you know, there was that whole thing where they didn't sign up Favreau. They just assumed he would get on board, and if he didn't take the gig for as little as they wanted to offer him,
that
get
story.
Somebody else, and then everybody in the geek community said, "You're out of your goddamn fucking mind. You don't. This is how you end up with shitty sequels. This is exactly how it happens. Textbook. Fucking listen. Give him the money he wants. Give Robert Downey the money he wants, and make a badass second film.
And nobody's going to ask for that much crazy money. You know, they're asking for what they're
worth.
worth.
The check, and then all of a sudden, Favreau's like, "We're working on it now, and I'm fine with the deadline they gave me."
So hopefully those movies will be good. I know there was also some speculation after the Hulk came out because the Hulk was not as successful as they wanted it to be. So looks like they're back on track to make these movies.
I think we've just proven that, you know, the Hulk is not the franchise everybody wishes it would be.
There was some problems with that release, though. Like I said, it had the cloud of that old movie over it, and they released a trailer too soon with unfinished special effects, and so people are thinking like, oh, shit, here we go again. Bumps and lessons will be learned because Marvel's an independent producing company now. Mm-hmm. So they're going to have some bumps and bruises like that.
Now, while we're talking about Marvel, how interesting is that Thor?
Kenneth Branagh?
Yeah.
Is that confirmed now, or is that just a rumor?
That was supposedly confirmed. I got that from, that came from Harry.
Why are they okay? I mean, look, there's a reason why they're probably doing it. And
well, first of all, you need a guy who can do that well. I mean, look at Kenneth Branagh's films that he's directed. He's directed several of them. He's
done a lot of Shakespeare movies. Yeah.
He's directed. Have you not seen Dead Again?
Yeah,
that really cool thriller he directed, and then
yeah.
he did a really cool independent called A Midwinter's Tale, which like 12 people on the planet saw, and I was one of them. I saw it in a theater. I love Kenneth Branagh. I went through a whole Kenneth Branagh phase a long time ago. It was
winking off the Kenneth Branagh posters in your room.
It was super. I loved Kenneth Branagh.
Kenneth,
I loved when he played Romeo in Romeo and Juliet, and he was like 35. It was awesome.
Well, you've been talking with a list for a lot tonight. I think you really missed me or something.
I told you I was in a good mood. So, but if you look at what he did with Henry V, you look at what he did with Hamlet, what he's done with these period pieces, and taken this stuff that a lot of people think is stale and made it visually just masterful and made that kind of speech work. You're telling a tale of a Norse god.
Yeah.
You are dipping into the well of very dangerous territory. This is the type of thing that, if done wrong, becomes historically bad. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, oh my God, can you believe they did that?
And that's what I'm afraid of with a Thor movie.
Yeah, but we're worried about Beastmaster 2. I mean, that's the nightmare is, the barbarian walking around in the city. And
coming into modern times.
And but the script is apparently brilliant. It's written by Mark Pertasevich, who writes a lot of brilliant scripts that get gutted by Hollywood. But it's being handed over to Kenneth Branagh, and I think that's a great fucking choice.
Yeah, and like you said, for those of you who don't know who Kenneth Branagh is, I think he did that remake, not a remake, but he did Frankenstein with Robert De Niro. You remember that? And I was really, that was pretty bad.
Direct Frankenstein,
and that's the movie they make fun of him about because he went to the movie with he went to the movie with no shirt on, and he was
he acted in it.
Yeah,
I don't know if he directed that one though. I can't. That was so long ago. That's the one with Robert De Niro.
That's Frankenstein. Yeah, the Frankenstein monster. Yeah, and they were.
And he was in like the pink goo, and it was just. That was not a good Frankenstein.
I'm gonna look this up real quick.
Yeah, you look this up real quick. If you want to learn about Kenneth Branagh, you want to see his best role.
What was that movie that he did? Denzel Washington was in it, and. So was God,
you threw me off now.
Denzel Washington and
Keanu Reeves. Oh, Much Ado About Nothing. Yeah. No, that's
a really good movie.
Keanu Reeves plays the villain in that one. That one's a fun one. Much Ado About Nothing is one of Shakespeare's comedies. I don't know if he directed that one. He may have, but he definitely starred in that one. Opposite Emma Thompson, and that
used to be his wife.
Yeah. If you really want to see true masterful Kenneth Branagh, track down his Hamlet. He wanted to make the definitive Hamlet in which it had all 3.5 hours of Hamlet. Because Hamlet is like a 3.5 hour play. So he has every word of Hamlet in there. It's got one of the most obscenely huge casts you've ever seen. Every single role in the movie. There's like this bumbling knight who delivers a message, and it's Robin Williams. One of the guards standing outside on top of the castle is played by, one of the original Odd Couple. What's his name? Not Walter Matthau, but...
Tony Curtis?
Not Tony Curtis.
Wait a minute. Jack Lemmon.
Jack Lemmon is one of the guard. I mean, it's literally, it's such a huge cast. Ophelia is played by Kate Winslet. And Ryan Blessed plays the king.
Yeah, he did do Frankenstein. He did do Much Ado About Nothing. Yeah. No, I remember Frankenstein clearly because they said that was a big vanity project for him to just jump around with no shirt on, and the movie was bad, and Robert De Niro was made fun of and trying to be Frankenstein's monster.
Bad movies.
Yeah. That was some shitty shit.
That was a shitty fucking movie.
But look, I figured that I don't want to think the worst. I'm always been nervous about a Thor project because Thor is one of the weirdest heroes for me to try to bring into a mixture of other heroes who are obviously of our world.
It really is.
Yeah, and
it's so bizarre. It's trying to mix mythology with it barely works for Wonder Woman. It only works because all of the DC universe is kind of a mythology of its own.
But yeah, I mean, when Marvel started doing that, I mean, read some early Thor. I mean, everything was kind of corny and cheesy, so they could do that. And it was more innocent. Now we're trying to elevate these to drama and true character, and it's like.
And see, personally, I like Mark Millar's version of Thor so much better than any other version of Thor I've ever seen.
So Mark Millar is the guy that wrote Wanted and Kick-Ass
and the Ultimates
and
his Ultimate Thor is just so odd. The fact that Thor is probably a god from Asgard, but nobody believes him because nobody believes in that shit, regardless of all the other crazy shit. But
I think he's a mental patient. Yeah,
they think he's a mental case, but they don't care because he's a really good guy. But on top of that, he's this drunken Nordic hippie who's like fighting against the WTO. And he fighting to save whales.
He likes to do that. He's an activist, and he likes to go to raves and shit.
He's just fucking cool.
And like so Thor in the original comics, he's got a hammer and he's a god, and this one his hammer might be a secret weapon and the vest might be a weapon of the government, and so they're thinking like he just stole this shit and he's a crazy ass dude.
Yeah. So which is what's so great about that whole storyline when they do that, because his brother is Loki, the god of trickery,
and he think he might be playing a trick on him.
Brother, and he's convinced that Loki is pulling this shit, and everyone's like, "Sure, it's your half brother convincing us all."
No, really,
that you're really crazy.
So is that what the script is like? Then are those elements?
I wish that's the kind of story they would tell. I don't think that's the Thor they're giving us. I think the Thor they're giving us is more the classic Thor, because for someone like Harry Knowles to go just apeshit crazy for it, it's got to be something.
But Harry Knowles went crazy over the Revenge of the Sith and the first episode 1 and all that. So I don't know him.
Hear me out. When it comes to his comic book stuff, I'm not talking about movies he's seen. I'm talking about getting, he's really excited about the script. He's been talking to me about the script for 2 years now.
We'll see, man. I believe things when I see them.
No. I'm not saying that means it's going to be good. I know. I'm saying that it means it probably harkens back to classic concepts of Thor.
Okay. Hey, look, I hope so, man. I really do hope so. All right. So, before we get out of here, we got to talk about the man, Paul Newman.
Yeah.
Gone. Losing a lot of people, man. Paul Newman's one of them. I mean, they say they're going 3s. Shit, fuck that guy just said y'all gonna go in fucking 25s now. So, Paul Newman is the latest one to go.
Well, like 3 of them are black, so it only counted as one.
Yeah, okay. You're only a half a person.
Yeah,
we're going by slave rules.
Yeah, it's what is it? 2/5?
The 2/3, 2/5 law, something like that. 2/5 of a human being.
So 3 of them, is just over 1.
So Paul Newman is dead at.
There's constitutional law for you.
What was he? 81?
83.
83. Yeah, he was 83. I'm looking at it here. Yeah, 83, man. Look, what can we say? The guy is an acting legend. I mean, we could sit up here and list all the movies that he's been in.
The guy was a legend. He was literally one of the last of the living legends, and he's one of a kind, man.
But he's a great. I mean, look, if we go by what we hear, I didn't hang around Paul Newman. I don't know what he did in his personal life. All I know, he could have been beating the shit out of his wife and burning puppies. But what we know about him is that he was a great humanitarian. Yeah. And Newman's own. I don't know how many people realize this, but Newman's own $250 million in charity, because it was a profit organization. Every bit of profit went to charitable organization. No, it's a profit organization. It's for profit. They take the profit and except for taxes, and they use it towards charitable organizations.
Yeah, that's called not for profit. No, they take all the profits and give it away. Not for profit, meaning nobody, Paul Newman isn't making money off this by, as a profit.
It's for profit because the product is making money. He's getting the money. He's just giving it away. So it is for a profit. It is a profit organization. It is a company. It's not like a nonprofit where they, I don't know exactly how nonprofit works, but I know they don't get that much money. They're making a product, putting it out there.
Right. They're making money. But they're not keeping profit.
But they're not keeping. They're giving away to charity.
Every penny that they make off Newman's own stuff goes to all sorts of charities all over the world.
Yeah,
and
nonprofits depend. Here's the deal. Nonprofits depend on donations and whatnot. No, they were selling these for profit. So this is the profit. But anyway, you're right. He sold this. He gave all his money away.
On top of the fact that it's that all that money goes to charity. It's really good shit. I don't know if you're into any of the Newman's Own. There's several products that I buy Newman's Own of.
I was gonna say that man could piss in a bottle and I'll put it on my fucking salad. He made a lot of good stuff. Salsa, the Newman's. Have you had the fig Newman's?
No, I haven't.
That shit is good, man.
You know the thing that I'm hooked on. He makes his company makes a chocolate espresso candy bar.
Haven't had that.
It's like $2.50. You can find it in the HEB has a whole section in the candy aisle of all the Newman's Own candy bars, and they're so damn good. I mean, that's when I'm working late at night, I'll occasionally slip in and grab myself a Newman's Own candy bar and like nibble on that all night, because it's not the type of thing where it's like a Snickers where you down it in like 5 seconds. It's like, hey, I'm satisfied.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you nibble on that. You take a piece off,
and you go crazy.
It's just like, oh my god, this is so. It's kind of like a Toblerone that way. You don't eat a Toblerone in one sitting, but well, maybe you do, and you're about the size of a house. But I've always been a big fan of their stuff. The popcorn.
Well, he started out with, I think, salad dressing, and some people said, "Hey, man, Paul, man, this shit is good. You should try to think about marketing in this." And he just had the good nerve to say, "Hey, you know what? I got enough money. I need to give back to people." So
he was a race car driver and an actor, and in fact, he's the guy who has the infamous story about he stopped signing autographs.
Well, because people were
he actually, the moment he decided to stop signing an autograph, he was using a urinal. And some guy handed him a pad of paper and a pencil and asked him to sign. And he was like, you know what? That's it. I'm never signing an autograph again.
Should have turned around and peed on the guy. Said, there's your autograph right there.
He was apparently too nice of a guy to do that. But for years, people thought of him as a prick because he refused to sign autographs. And then he came out and told the story. And he said, look, I was using the urinal. And some guy, tries to put something in my hands. It's like, I'm busy.
I guess I would have pissed in his face. There, take
you
that.
Yeah. But see, you are a prick. So.
Yay, there you go. Yeah, remember that.
You know what? If you made salad dressing a guarantee, you wouldn't give the money away.
Fuck no. I'd be You know what? I that's why I admire him, because I'm thinking, come on, man, you could have kept a little bit of that. I don't know. I would have.
He made tons of money.
But he was he was a racing enthusiast. He won championship racing. What's that?
Let's get this back on topic. What's your favorite Paul Newman movie?
Oh man, I looked at his filmography and I can't claim to see half of these movies. I saw some of the movies that he did with his wife.
What's your favorite you've seen?
You know what? My favorite. A lot of people say Cool Hand Luke. My favorite is The Hustler.
The Hustler. Hustler's good. Although I have to say Cool Hand Luke, especially I just watched it again a few weeks ago. That's such a great fucking
It's a great movie. And a lot of people are going to probably say, well, how could you choose The Hustler over that?
No, dude, nobody's going to say. Because The Hustler's a great fucking movie.
Man, the thing is, it's just not Paul Newman. Because, look, Paul Newman is so fucking cool in that movie. But then Jackie Gleason comes in, and the dynamic between those two guys, I can watch that movie over and over again, just watching them act. And that's why I love that movie. It's a shame that he didn't win anything until The Color of Money. I mean,
no, it's not a shame. The thing is he was one of those guys that didn't need it. I mean, he was one of the biggest stars in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, he was one of the last living legends.
I have to say, I'm not crazy about Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, though. I mean, I don't think it's.
That's where people are going to say you're out of your.
I know. It has one of the best endings. I love that ending, but I mean, look, it's with time, it's gotten a little corny in the middle in some parts, but it's a good movie. Don't get me wrong. It's still a good movie. You have a
problem with the bike riding scene? Is that what you're
in a way, yeah.
I knew it.
But no,
that's kind of gay.
It's not a bad movie at all. I'm just saying it's not one of my favorites for it being the classic that it is. Love the ending in it, but no, man, the guy was great. And just reading up on some things about him, it's funny to see how this is why people should never give up. If you want to be an actor, you just got to learn to take rejection. I think he was doing a screen test for East of Eden, and he was doing it with James Dean, and James Dean got his part that he was trying out for, and then he got pushed out the picture. Paul Newman. And so later on, he became one of the biggest stars in the world. Great talent. I mean, he lived a good life. How sad? I mean, it's sad that we lost him, but how sad can you be to see a guy who made such accomplishments
who dies at 83?
Exactly.
It's
full life.
The best thing people have said, the thing that people keep saying is, look, it's not like it was a surprise. You know,
Yeah.
it's not a shocker. When you saw that news this weekend, did you go, oh my God, how could this happen? It wasn't like Bernie Mac or
Exactly.
or even more shocking was Isaac Hayes.
Yeah,
That was the one where it's like, what? But no, but it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, but everyone was sad because it's like, well, you know, the guy is, you know, he was one of our greats.
You're gonna mourn somebody's death. I mean, it's just out of respect. But shit, man, I'd say, hey, I'm surprised he didn't die fucking with those racing cars. He didn't crash into a wall or something. So yeah, he lived a really good life.
He lived a grand old life.
This weekend, I bought some salad dressing, drank a little bit, and poured a little bit on the sidewalk for my man. So
This one's for the homie.
This one's for the homie. So yeah, my
I
man.
can't believe we went there. Oh.
My man Paul Newman, boy, lived a good life. We should all be so lucky as to have the kind of life that you did. So
Yeah, I want
to
see the little Paul Newman caricature they put on the coffin.
a little bobblehead. So anyway, well, hey man, that's it. Welcome back. Had a real good time. I'm glad you're well rested. This has been really enjoyable.
Yes, it has.
So that's it. We'll see you next week, y'all.
Good night.
Good night.